Greetings, good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of First Alert Weather Extra, streaming live on WFSB Plus and on the Channel 3 YouTube channel. So thank you so much. Mark Dixon here in the Channel 3 First Alert Forecast Center. Today we officially hit 90. It certainly felt hotter than that when you factor in the humidity, but that 90 was key, and that we need 3 consecutive days 90 or higher to qualify for a heat wave in our part of the country. We did it once already, our initial heat wave of the year, 4 days in duration. This one's going to last 3 days, so we're on our way. So hotter weather on the way for the next 2 days, and then some relief by Friday. So a check of First Alert Live Radar. First and foremost, the only live radar in Connecticut, we are scanning dry. Earlier this afternoon, during the peak heating of the day, we saw some isolated downpours pop up, initially southeast Connecticut, then up near the notch there, near the Connecticut-Massachusetts border around North Granby, then also around Plymouth and Bristol. So they were very isolated in nature. Those fizzled. And with the loss of the daytime heating, not expecting anything else to bubble up. You can actually see them here over the past several hours, flaring up again and then diminishing. So other than that, temps today, 85 to 90 inland, right in line with what we were forecasting. Look at New Haven, 88, meanwhile 79 in Groton. So those coastal southeast communities, a little bit cooler thanks to the wind direction coming in off the water of the Long Island Sound right now. Water temp is in the low 70s. So to recap, 90, we achieved that today for the Hartford area. Heat wave number 2 now on its way to becoming official. 93 is our forecast high for tomorrow, and 91 is our forecast high for Thursday. But again, it's going to feel hotter than that when you factor in the high humidity. It's a dangerous combination. That's why we have First Alert weather days for the next 2 days. So on the topic of 90-degree heat, today marks our 4th day this month, and now, therefore, our 11th day this year to reach or exceed 90. So over halfway now into our what we typically see in the span of a year, our annual average 20 days. So we'll likely add 2 more days if our forecast pans out. Our view from Waterbury right now, we've got a mainly clear sky. It is a warm, it is a muggy night. 81 still in our capital city. There's the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge from our view in New Haven, 81 in the Elm City. New London, 73 comfortable degrees. So upper 70s, low 80s throughout a good part of Connecticut here in the 9 o'clock hour. So normal high for this time of year is 86. We're going to be running above average for the next several days. Winds today not terribly strong, but they've been out of the south, and that's been supplying us with this tropical-like atmosphere. Dew point values well into the 70s. Look at this, low and mid 70s. Pretty incredible out there. So air temperature can't drop below the dew point, so this is kind of an indicator as far as how low temperatures could go later on tonight. So across the region, not a whole lot happening. Again, isolated development with the peak heating this afternoon. We're basically going to do this all over again tomorrow. So overnight tonight, we bottom out in the upper 60s and low 70s inland, 70 to 75 along the shoreline. And on First Alert Futurecast here, we can see some patchy fog develop as we head toward daybreak tomorrow morning. Otherwise, we'll see a fairly bright day. Any of that fog burns off early, and then partly to mostly sunny through the afternoon. So just like today, an isolated shower or downpour, a little thunderstorm cannot be ruled out, but most of the time for most of Connecticut, for many communities, we will remain dry. So forecast high temperatures for our Wednesday, upper 80s, if not low 90s inland, and from 83 in the Groton and London area to 87, 88 for Bridgeport. So those coastal communities not quite as warm as inland areas, but when you factor in that humidity, it is going to feel notably hotter. So that's why we've got First Alert weather days. We've had them in effect for a couple days now. Yesterday, they were the First Alert weather day was focused on the storm, heavy rain, and flooding threats across western Connecticut. Today and into tomorrow, and as well into Thursday, it's on the heat and the humidity. Heat index values 95 to upwards of 100 degrees, perhaps even above that. So on the heat risk map, you can see tomorrow the shade of red, which correlates to major heat risk implications. This takes into account the heat, the humidity, even our overnight lows, because it doesn't temperatures don't drop off that much overnight in the low to mid 70s. So we've got major heat impacts tomorrow, and basically one more day for our Thursday. You can see almost statewide. So it's going to region wide, in fact. And then by Friday, no more red on the map. So some good news, a step in the right direction. This is all compliments of a cold front that is now arriving a bit earlier than it was, say, yesterday when we were showing you our first alert forecast. We were thinking it was going to come in on Friday, but instead it's coming in Thursday night. So in advance of this Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, there's the chance for some isolated to scattered thunderstorms. But otherwise, it's going to be arriving, passing through Connecticut after sunset. And then note those wind arrows by Friday morning out of the northwest. That's a direction that's going to send some relatively cooler, and also drier air into Connecticut. So still oppressive levels of humidity tomorrow as well as for Thursday. But look at that sharp drop on Friday. Very, very comfortable air. Nicely timed. So if you are perhaps getting a jump start on the weekend, have Friday off, heading to area beaches, the weather certainly will cooperate. Same for Saturday. Saturday is stellar day, but then things kind of go downhill a little bit over the second half of the weekend. So to recap, we've got our first alert weather day for tomorrow. Isolated chance for a shower storm to pop up through the afternoon. Perhaps a better chance on Thursday in advance of that cold front, and overnight lows over the next couple of days in the 70s. And then trending less humid on Friday. Absolutely gorgeous on Saturday. And then rain and storms are possible on Sunday. So here's the model comparison. Left-hand side of your screen, your viewing window, that is the GFS, the American model. Right hand is the European. So a fairly dry start to the day, but the European model is a bit more aggressive with the timing of it moving in sooner, whereas the GFS is a bit later in the day. So not a washout by any means, but also somewhat a forecasting conundrum. We're just keep in mind it's Tuesday and we're talking about Sunday. So we've already seen, say, for instance, the timing of the cold front on Friday move up into Thursday night. So still some uncertainty regarding the timing. So keep checking back. We'll keep you updated with regard to the forecast for Sunday with that chance for rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder. But beyond the weekend, next Monday and Tuesday, looking pretty nice with highs between 80 and 85 degrees. If you're not a fan of the heat and humidity, you just got to grin and bear it for 2 more days, and then we do anticipate some relief by Friday. And speaking of heading to perhaps area beaches tomorrow, beach forecast for our Wednesday. Low 80s coastal southeast Connecticut, mid to perhaps upper 80s working further west. 85 Madison if perhaps heading to Hammonasset. 87 Milford. 90 in Norwalk. High tide tomorrow coming during the middle of the afternoon. Certainly remember to apply the sunscreen and to apply it often and to stay hydrated. So the concerns for tomorrow, for Thursday, the combination of heat and humidity reaching a dangerous level. So we're not talking about record high temperatures, but it's the humidity that will make them feel even hotter, and it's difficult for our bodies to cool themselves when we have so much moisture in the air. It's harder to sweat and to cool ourselves. So it's important to stay inside and near air conditioning if you are one who suffers from any sort of respiratory distress. If you work in the elements, then you want to, of course, take frequent breaks. Remember, stay hydrated, drink water. Tomorrow, a slight chance for a shower storm to pop up, and then a better chance perhaps on Thursday. But the fact that this front's going to be arriving at night bodes well when it comes to the threat for strong to perhaps severe storms. And then by Friday, on that northwesterly flow, less humid, drier air will be arriving, and temperatures on Friday relatively cooler, but it will feel so much better given the lower humidity. And 86, that happens to be our normal high for this time of year. So right in line with what's considered typical or average. And then the third weekend of July, Saturday, lots of sunshine, low humidity, mid 80s, and then a little bit cloudier with that rising chance for rain, possibly some thunderstorms on Sunday. All right, that is the latest from the First Alert Forecast Center on tonight's live edition, streaming here on WFSB Plus of our First Alert Weather Extra. In case you are not familiar, these happen weekdays, 8 o'clock in the morning and then 9:30 at night. So live here and then posted on our YouTube channel thereafter. So typically in the morning you would see either Jill Gilardi, Scott Gagliardi, or if either one of them are off, Scott Haney, and then in the evenings typically Mike Slifer. But because he's off, I'm filling in today. So you'll see these live updates Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. and as well at 9:30 p.m. In the meantime, in just 20 minutes from now, you can join us over for Eyewitness News at 10 o'clock on the Wax, and then over on Channel 3 at 11. Okay, take care. Have a great night.